History is basically humanity's favorite game of who can own the most land without Google Maps. And over the centuries, 5 empires rose so high, so fast, and so dangerously wide that they practically broke the world map. The Achaemenid Persian Empire. Picture this: 550 BCE. Cyrus the Great, yes, great wasn't just a marketing stunt, unites the Medes and Persians into a single mega kingdom. Over the next few decades, his empire swells to about 5.5 million square kilometers. That's roughly half the size of the entire African continent. Or, if you're bad at geography, about 2 Indias stapled together. Their army, estimates put it around 100,000 to 200,000 soldiers at peak. Not the biggest in history, but when you have the Royal Road, advanced logistics, and a postal system that could outpace modern mail, you don't need 10 million spearmen. Cyrus, then Darius I, ruled over 44% of the world's population, the largest share ever. Imagine nearly every second person on Earth owing taxes to the same guy. The Macedonian Empire. Enter Alexander the Great, the man who thought the world was too small, and then proved it. In just 13 years, basically one bad Netflix binge, he conquered an empire stretching 5.2 million square kilometers, from Greece to India. That's bigger than Australia, and he did it without Wi-Fi. His army? A lean but deadly 40,000 to 50,000 men. These weren't just fighters. They were disciplined, siege-loving, phalanx-wielding professionals who marched like they had Amazon Prime delivery speeds. Alexander's empire didn't last long after he died. Apparently, I'll split it between my generals wasn't a great succession plan. But for a moment, he was the master of the known world, the Roman Empire. Rome didn't just appear, it grew, brick by brick, until Augustus declared, "All right, we're an empire now." At its peak around 117 CE under Trajan, Rome covered 5 million square kilometers. That's basically the whole of the European Union plus Turkey, parts of North Africa, and the Middle East. Their military machine? About 300,000 to 400,000 legionaries at full strength. Professional, disciplined, and scary enough that Pax Romana was less peace and more nobody wants to fight us. Rome ruled around 60 million people, introduced aqueducts, concrete and central heating, and also perfected crucifixion. So, mixed legacy. The Mongol Empire. The Mongols. Born on the steppes, raised on horseback, and led by the ultimate boss-level warlord, Genghis Khan. From 1206 onward, the Mongol Empire ballooned into 24 million square kilometers, the largest contiguous land empire in history. To put that in perspective, that's bigger than Africa minus a small country like Egypt, or almost the size of Russia and the continental US combined. Their army? About 100,000 to 140,000 horse archers at peak. But here's the kicker. They moved faster than any other force in history. Entire cities would hear of the Mongols coming, and then get steamrolled before the gossip even reached the next town. Under Genghis, then Kublai Khan, the Mongols connected Europe and Asia with the Silk Road, spreading ideas, and unfortunately, the Black Death. Oops, the British Empire, and finally, the empire that made maps blush, the British Empire. At its 1920 peak, it ruled 35.5 million square kilometers, nearly a quarter of Earth's total land. If you stood anywhere in the world back then, there was about a 1 in 4 chance you were under the Union Jack. The British military was trickier to measure. Unlike the Mongols, they didn't keep one giant standing army. Instead, they had a few 100,000 regulars, bolstered by colonial troops, and the most powerful navy in history. The Royal Navy basically controlled the oceans like a GTA player with cheat codes. Famous rulers? Queen Victoria for the 19th century glory days, and earlier figures like Elizabeth I, who kicked off the age of exploration. The empire brought railways, English tea culture, and also centuries of colonization. So, again, mixed reviews. These 5 empires shaped the world in ways we still feel today. They built roads, cities, and trade networks, but they also waged wars, toppled kingdoms, and redrew borders. Because in history, the bigger the empire, the bigger the mess when it all comes crashing down. So, who would you have bet on? Cyrus's unstoppable Persians? Alexander's lightning conquests? Rome's disciplined legions? The Mongol thunder? Or Britain's global navy? History isn't just about dates and numbers. It's about the people who tried to own the world, and the people who had to live with them.